Macy, welcome to the show. I got to ask you guys right off the bat. Concerned Women for America obviously leads nationally, but you guys have chapters everywhere. And I actually, just to be selfish, care more about Virginia than anywhere else. I know you guys are headquartered just down the street from me, actually. So what does this mean in Virginia in particular, and to the extent New Jersey, for some of the cultural issues that you guys at Concerned Women for America really champion?
Yeah, obviously, Abigail Spanberger's victory is pretty devastating when it comes to some of the issues that we stand for, one of which is protecting women in sports. It's an issue that's near and dear to my heart as a former female athlete who had to compete against a male athlete. And her stance promoting men and women's sports is completely indefensible, and she knows it, which is why on her campaign trail, she kept passing it off to, for example, local Virginia government, which has countless Title IX violations, some even leading to the sexual assault of minors. So while I am sad for Virginians and women and girls and children in the state, I don't think we can read any kind of nationwide shift when it comes to this issue based on her election. Her electorate is heavily composed of ideologues and former bureaucrats who President Trump fired for doing a bad job. But I do think something that we can read out of this is the candidates that the Democrats are willing to embrace, not just her, but also candidates who are promoting Marxist ideas and romanticizing political violence. This is really fascinating for us at Concerned Women for America because our exit polling from last year's election said that 70% of voters cared about the issue of men competing in women's sports, and that drove their vote choice. So that's a really interesting take for the Democrat Party to embrace, especially heading into next year's midterms.
In Virginia in particular, what's concerning to me isn't just Abigail Spanberger's win, obviously Jay Jones's win as Attorney General, but they now have 64 seats in the House of Delegates and the majority in the state Senate, which means that like these radical agenda policy ideas can actually come to fruition. Abigail Spanberger really dodged the trans issue on the campaign trail. And I think that's got to make you wonder if she really has a secret agenda that she wants to push.
Right, exactly. Because like I said, she was dodging it to local government. And in the local government, we're seeing these failures on full display. Is she okay with a Virginia where children are being sexually assaulted in their schools? Apparently, that is devastating. But beyond the trans issue, Virginia is also in the middle of a heated abortion debate, not just for, promoting abortion up to certain measures, but stripping women of all protections, of parental protections, of any kind of safeguards for women when it comes to safe healthcare. So this is devastating for women and children and families statewide.
Well, I agree with you. One of the things that I don't think people fully appreciate is that if Virginia has its way under the Democrats, parents are potentially going to lose the ability to know whether their child is trying to get an abortion.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is, of course, sad when it comes to parental and family rights, but also for children who are the, prime target for some of these people who are just out to steal, kill, and destroy people and their bodies and, of course, their children.
There's an issue that you guys, again, I always say that Concerned Women for America is like the tip of the spear when it comes to cultural issues. You guys are ahead of the curve. Like you'll fight something, I'll be like, interesting. I'll see a tweet or a statement from you guys. And then like 6 months later, everybody else is on board. And so I kind of look at it like Nancy Pelosi's stock trades, like, you know where the market's going. So this was interesting because I saw you guys calling for the resignation of the CEO of the U.S. Olympic Committee. And I'm like, okay, if Concerned Women for America is out there pushing this, this is where the ball's going. And so explain what the issue is at stake.
Yeah, I'm very proud. CWA has always been ahead of the curve, especially when it comes to men competing in women's sports. Like I said, that was something that I had to face head on when I was a college athlete, and I played against a man 6 or 7 years ago. There was not a debate happening on a national stage by any means, but CWA was there to amplify my voice and to stand for truth on the issue even before it was politically popular. But here we are again. Last week, we called on the resignation of the CEO of the U.S. Olympic Committee. She has absolutely failed her obligations to the American people, including the 500,000 CWA members nationwide. Hirschland has an obligation as her role as CEO of the U.S. Olympic Committee to promote fairness, be a voice for fairness and opportunity in athletics, but instead she has allowed America to become a place of rampant discrimination that jeopardizes female safety, of course. And so our ask was simple. We have been asking this for a long time. We sent her a letter early last year just to implement a one-time cheek swab to protect the female category. This is more than reasonable. When I was an NCAA athlete—
A one-time what?
A one-time cheek swab. That's all it takes to verify someone's sex. So when I was in the NCAA, I had to do blood tests. I had to get COVID tested 3 times a week just to keep my eligibility. So this would just say, to be eligible for the female category, that one-time cheek swab that you do at a physical would have to of course, say that you are really a female. That's so reasonable. But her refusal to do this solidifies her failures. And that's why CWA believes that she must resign from her position, because she has failed her obligations to the American people.
Wow. All right. Well, as I mentioned, guys, for 45 years, Concerned Women for America and Macy and her boss, Penny Nance, the CEO, have been really the leading voice in so many of these issues. CWA focuses on 7 core issues: sanctity of life, religious liberty, parental choice and education, fighting sexual exploitation, national sovereignty, and support for Israel. They know what a woman is. They know that they should keep men out of women's sports. And that's why Penny Nance, obviously leading the charge with this amazing team here in DC, but also she's gotten and built chapters throughout the country, whether it's Virginia or in the other 49 states. And so you can do something to help Concerned Women for America. I'm asking you to join me to support their efforts for a donation of $20. You can not only help them, but as the holidays approach, you get yourself a little free gift. You get Penny's new book. It's called A Woman's Guide, 7 Rules for Success in Business and Life. It's an incredible book that you should read, but also, as I said, not a bad idea for a gift as we get into the holiday season. Here's how you have to do. Go to concernedwomen.org/Spicer, concernedwomen.org/Spicer for your copy again today. Go get it. Help amazing work that Macy and so many of the other people at Concerned Women for America are doing to get ahead of the curve on key issues that are affecting our families, our girls, our daughters, our nieces, our nephews, all that. So thank you for everything that they're doing. Well, if you enjoyed this content, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get more.